Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. I'm Angie.
And I'm Jim.
And today we're going to be talking about D23 and all the exciting things that went on there. But before we get to that, Jim's got some hot happenings for this week.
Jim, a couple little things that are not D23 related. Today, I believe it was today, Galaxy's Edge opened to the public in Orlando today, and the lines were huge. So if you hear any news about Galaxy's Edge failing, it is lies, because they had the lines to get into Galaxy's Edge today were longer than the lines for autographs at Celebration in Orlando.
Oh, really?
So they were huge. And from what I saw some pictures and some video, and there was a picture for, wait for Smuggler's Run was 300 minutes, which means 5 hours.
I don't know if I would have waited that long.
Yeah, but that 5 hour wait just to get into the Millennium Falcon. So.
But do they give you like a you
Nope.
have to just be in line?
You just have to be in line.
Wow.
The good news is that they're not doing reservations for Galaxy's Edge. So you just show up and go. Now, it's looking like they're going to hit capacity fast. So if you go early.
Yeah.
And then you'll hopefully get in and, get your time and whatever.
I wonder if they'll change that. If it becomes a problem, I wonder if they would change that and go to reservation. Because, I've been out, I stood out in line at Comic-Con. I went to Mrs. Puff's boating school so that I could get the Bikini Bottom driver's license. And I was outside I know that sounds funny. I was outside for an hour in that hot sun. So I can't imagine in the Florida heat. Plus, with a hurricane coming, I'm sure that
they're getting rain too. So rain comes and goes very frequently in Orlando. So
yeah.
As a matter of fact, during the dedication ceremony, it rained. So it happens, and then that's normal for Florida. So it's that's what they get. It rains a lot more in Florida than it does here. So
is that like oh my gosh, the clone planet,
Camino. Yeah. Where it rains 24 hours a day in one place.
It rains all the time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that doesn't flood. I'm surprised that.
It depends on where you are. And
where does it?
Orlando's in the middle of the state.
No, I was talking about Camino. What happens? A planet if it rains and rains and rains and rains.
There's no land. It's an ocean.
Yeah,
planet.
But doesn't it fill up and all the water come off?
Well, it has a weather cycle, so the water evaporates and goes into the clouds and does a thing. It's like it does here, just a little different. They got more water. That's all. So yeah, Galaxy's Edge is churning away, and
I need to go. My friend's actually gone twice from work. I told her I hated her.
The big thing right now is that if you're an annual pass holder, like if you're a local pass holder, like either in Florida or here in California, the dates are still blocked out. So it's hard to get in. If you're like one of the lower tier annual pass holders, also the dates are blocked out till I don't know, something like October.
I think because I think they block it because right now they're going to get ready for Halloween.
Right.
So I think my friend Andy was telling me that she had up until a certain amount of time before she couldn't go. It was blocked.
Oh yeah.
Even the California, is it the California pass holders, right? There's
right.
That's the lowest one. That's still almost $1,000 for that.
Yeah.
It's that's like a house payment.
Well, it's a house payment for 1 month, or you pay it over a year. You can make monthly payments on those. So
yeah,
and there are people I know who do. So
but we live so far away that I would see myself maybe going twice a year, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's mildly impractical for us. It's about 95 miles to the park from us. And there are people who drive farther all the time, but it's up to each individual.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
So anyway, further, the Galaxy's Edge Black Spire Outpost cookbook is, dropping. It's going to come out in November.
Will it be available at the bookstores, or will it be available only at Disneyland?
My understanding, it's going to be, it's a book, so it'll be probably, Barnes and Noble, wherever.
That's awesome.
Wherever you can buy books. the company that the website for the company that makes it, it's not a regular company book. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. They're releasing recipes now, so you can see some of the recipes
That's
that you can get
cool.
for it. And there are going to be some Galaxy's Edge stuff, and there's other Star Wars planets as well, I think.
That would
Um,
be a cool Christmas gift because we did last year. We had an all club Christmas party, and it was down Riverside.
mhm.
And we did a white bantha gift exchange.
Yes.
So that would be a really cool gift
Oh,
to give
definitely.
somebody.
Especially if they're kitchen oriented like Sal,
Yeah.
or at least Sal's daughter. But
Yes.
sorry, Sal. Anyway, furthermore, if you go to Galaxy's Edge and you get some of the souvenir stuff, and that's including like the little Coke bottles that look like thermal detonators.
My daughter got me one.
Yeah. Well, don't take it on a plane.
Yeah, I heard that.
The TSA has banned the thermal detonators, soda, bottles from from flights. Apparently they look too much like real
A bomb, yeah. Like
Well,
some sort of grenade or something.
and the U.S. Army, it's called the M67 baseball grenade, and
Oh, wow.
they're almost the same size and very similar shape. So, yeah, if you wanted to paint a hand grenade to look like a Galaxy's Edge Coke bottle, you could. And
They'll ban them.
I don't know how you can't tell the difference, because a hand grenade is not the same weight as an empty Coke bottle. But who am I?
But if you paint, I've seen people painting the detonator, the thermal detonator. I've seen people painting them, and they're really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can kind of see that. I
Well,
can kind of see that.
They do some weird shit. But anyway, finally, a new film documentary is coming,
Uh-huh.
and it's called Light Side: A Journey with David Prowse.
Oh, wow.
It is the life and times of David Prowse.
I saw the one on Netflix. It was so
Yeah, that was good. That
good.
was really good. This is another take. This is like his whole life, and it's going to be coming out in January 2020.
It would be cool to see him.
And it's going to talk about his whole life, and not just his time during Star Wars, but because he was in several movies. He wasn't just Star Wars. He was in Clockwork Orange.
Oh, wow.
He was in
Which is a totally weird movie, anyways.
Yeah. He was in a couple of Hammer films. Being monstrous because he's big, and and then they're going to talk about his life and some details. Oh yeah, he was the traffic safety guy over there for kids
Where?
in England.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And he had like a suit. He's kind of like a superhero kind of guy, and he was in a suit. And he would go to school and tell them, watch how you cross the street. And he would have like a thing you do.
Now, he's still alive.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
He's one of the very last.
Well, of the original.
Of the original cast.
Of the original older cast, definitely. He's pushing 80, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but he looked great when I saw him on doing that thing, and he wanted to do the very end scene because that he was robbed of that. But I mean, I understand.
It's the thing.
I know.
But he. He I don't think he leaves England anymore. He doesn't really tour anymore because of his health, because he has a few health issues. But but he's still kicking along, and he still signs autographs, and like if you he has a website, Dave Prowse's Darth Vader. I can't remember what the name of the actual website is, but he's he has a website and you can get official autographed stuff from him.
That's cool.
Like all the time. So it's
Dupree got to meet him.
Oh, that's cool.
He got to meet him at, I believe it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And Dupree got to meet him at the Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Dupree, meaning Dupree Jones. He's one of ours. He costumes as Vader for Saber Guild, and he fights as Vader. So
yes, I've actually fought him in a show.
Yeah, he's really, really good. He's probably one of the best Vaders I've ever seen. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's pretty much it for non-D23 news.
Yes.
Because all the rest of the news that happened this past week
was fantastic.
And at D23.
Yes. Now, the D23, it was packed when I got there. It was I would say that was one for the record. I've not seen a crowd like that. I mean, when I went in 2013, it was packed, but it was really kind of confusing. I had never been to that kind of a convention, and it was more like buying things. And I remember there was like this big board that would tell you, it was like an electronic board that, like almost like the movies, when you go to the movies, and it would tell you what time certain things were being done, and then were all sold out. We got to pretty much see nothing then. I was able to, when I got in, because the D23 Facebook page said, hey, you know, if you get there, you might be able to get a standby wristband and to get in. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. And I told my friend Vince, yeah, let's try and do that. So when I got in there, I got into the line, and then all of a sudden it was sold out, but I didn't realize it was Legends that was sold out. And so that was the first panel, and there was massive confusion with that. People got in that shouldn't have got in, and all this other stuff. So the line, they said, hey, you know, there's no more people in, we're done. And so I went and walked around the convention for just a little bit. I was able to get a picture of all of the clones, but that was at Comic-Con too, so I did see that there. And so then I walked back outside, and I see there's a line again. So I jumped back in line and was in line from 11 o'clock, like 11:30, all the way till 3:30. When we finally got downstairs, they said, okay, you guys can go in this line, and there was like only 20 people. And we were able to get a wristband, and we got in there almost like 3:40, I think it was. They were trying to hurry us in. So we get in there, and they start showing us all the things from the Disney streaming, which is really cool. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be on there. They're going to be able to compete with Netflix. No if, whats, or buts.
Well, especially when all the exclusive Disney stuff comes back to Disney.
Right.
Because right now what they're doing is, like, any shows that are on other streaming services, Hulu, Netflix, wherever they are, they're going to finish out those contracts, because they can't, cut them loose, they can't take them back early.
Right.
So they'll be out there, like The Last Jedi's on Netflix, for example. Right. And so they're going to leave it out there until that's done. When it's done, then it'll pop back to Disney.
And I think the same thing with Fox. They maybe have a contract with, I think it was TNT.
Right.
And that's why they show the Star Wars movies there. They show, I think they show all the way to Force Awakens, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but they did 1 through 7.
Right.
And they'll show them back to back. I think they're trying to blow it out for the very end.
Well, they usually do it on holidays and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a good time to...
The Thanksgiving Star Wars weekend.
Yes, they're not going to be able to do that. But I mean, it was really cool to see all the things that they're going to have on there. They're going to have Lady and the Tramp live action, which has real dogs in it. Yeah. And those are all sheltered dogs. So I almost cried because it was so sweet. They have High School Musical, the musical series. Right. And so the kids came out and sang. And then they showed all of the vault. They're going to pull out everything from the vault. Well, like Pinocchio and Snow White, Ariel. I mean, all of that. And so they're going to have enough for kids and adults. One of the real cool things is I got to see the guys who play Cassin and K2.
Okay.
They're getting their own show.
Yeah, Diego Luna and Alan Tudyk.
Yes, they're getting their own show. So that was really cool. Also, they're going to do a whole bunch of Marvel. Like She-Hulk is getting their own show, and Winter Soldier's getting their own show. And it was really, really awesome to see these shows. Jeff Goldblum is getting his own show. Yeah. It's almost like the Dirtiest Jobs kind of thing. And then they showed another one. It was called Vision and something.
It's WandaVision.
Yeah, that one looked real cool.
Yeah, because it's the girl played by Elizabeth Olsen. Oh God, what's her name? Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch and Vision, because they're like hooked up now.
But it was those original people.
Right.
And so that was cool.
Yeah.
They're also going to do there's other children's shows, but the biggest thing was they showed a Star Wars timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So to have the Cassian show in there,
So they're going to show where they were going to
right,
fall
right, where they're going to put it in, and then they did the Mandalorian,
Mm-hmm.
which was amazing. The footage from the show is amazing.
Oh yeah. I saw that trailer. It was.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be terrific. So at the very end, she goes, "We've got one more announcement."
Okay.
And I said, "What is this? What is this?" And so Ewan McGregor comes out, and I'm screaming like I'm at a rock concert. It was unbelievable. He looks like he hasn't aged a day.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks great.
So he made Kathleen may ask him right there, am I going to play Obi Wan? And she asked him, and he said yes. And I tell you, the whole place was screaming and yelling. She said they have all the scripts written,
right?
And they're going to start filming in January,
right?
So I was oh my God, it was so exciting. I think I didn't get to walk around much, like I said, but just to see that,
oh yeah,
was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was great. I saw a couple of videos from different points of view of that of that encounter, and people just losing their mind.
Oh, it was really, really cool. So then my friend Gabe, who is the
he's the local CEO for the Rebel Legion,
right? I think it's Sunrider Base,
right? That is correct.
Okay, so I had talked to him earlier because I was trying to make sure we got in there, and he said, "Well, can you meet up with me after 6?" I said, "Sure." And so he's like, "We're gonna be giving 2 people their lifetime achievement." I said, "Oh my God, it's Ewan McGregor. It's got to be Ewan McGregor." I actually didn't think it was going to be who we had. So when we got in there, they told me it was going to be Pedro Pascal and oh my gosh, I got to remember her name.
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano. I'm like real bad right now. And so first we get to meet Pascal, and he was super nice. I was super excited. And I think the Mandalorians, Chris could barely talk. He was so excited to meet him.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he even commented, he gave all the guys compliments on their Mandalorian costumes.
Oh yeah, he better.
Yeah, I mean, he said they were terrific. So when we talked to him, what he did say was, can't say too much, but the stuff that we're going to see for the Mandalorian, like all the maybe toys and shirts and all that, he said that stuff is really cool.
Cool, good.
So, and he left when we were talking to Gina. He went back into this one area and came back out with 2 pops.
Oh wow!
So I think that he got these pops for himself, but he ended up with a lot of stuff on that day. We gave him the Mandalorians gave him a really cool signed artwork that was for the show, but it was the first artwork that had been done.
Right.
They gave him the honorary
membership.
Right. And then they gave him something else. Oh, they gave him a really cool Mando necklace. So he was like, oh my gosh, he was blown away.
Oh yeah.
And then when we talked to Gina, she was beautiful. I mean, she is beautiful and very, very kind. Both of them were really kind and took the time to talk to us and stuff. So it was a thrill. And so the last part of it is, I did not expect for us to be on the Star Wars Instagram page, and we ended up on that. And I told my husband, oh my gosh, there's 188,000 likes on this. I said, I've never gotten that many likes in my life. So I did not expect to be on that page, but I was that's been super exciting.
Oh, that's great.
It was super exciting.
You get to see, you in your costume, because you were Barris Selfie, and it was awesome. It was a beautiful picture. So, I mean, that's great.
And I actually made that skirt. I made that skirt. I'm in the process of doing the rest of it. I'm not very good with sewing, so some of this stuff takes time.
Oh yeah. Believe me, I know what you're saying. I sew too, so it's
So I am now in the process of getting a costume for the 501st. And so I want to do the Imperial. She's an Imperial officer, but she's of intelligence.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
yes.
Izanisard.
Yes, I'm in the process of doing that. I just bought the belt and the rank bar to start.
Mhm.
I looked up the wig and I've looked up the costume since I cannot sew. I've got to have somebody make it for
It's
me.
basically an Imperial uniform, but it's red.
Right, but the difference is it's more like a bib in the front.
Right, right.
And so I've got to do it that way. I wrote Cosplay Sky and asked if they can make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they get back to me
Mm-hmm.
and that they can do it, because
Right.
I just can't make that.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it would be really difficult for
Yeah.
me.
For like fitted stuff, I mean more fitted stuff like the Imperial uniforms, I'm not very good with either.
Yeah,
So,
it would take me 100 years to make those pants.
but one of the things I did get to watch some of the stuff on Star Wars YouTube from D23, and they were doing a lot of interviews with all of the stars and
Yeah.
all of the people and J.J. Abrams and all these different people. And one of the funniest little things I saw was hilarious. They're interviewing Taika Waititi, who's one of the directors of Mandalorian episodes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay? Also the director of Thor Ragnarok. And he's talking about stuff, show stuff, whatever it was. And then behind him, Pedro Pascal is walking, right? And then you see Pedro Pascal walk up to him, grab him by the head with both his hands, and he fakes breaking his neck.
Oh, wow.
It just goes click. And then Taika plays with it, and he goes, and he fell down right there in the middle of the interview.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I love the fact that,
They just love it.
that they are having fun with this.
Oh, yeah,
And he seems to be, they're all just drinking it in. My friend was really excited. My friend Venetia,
Mhm.
she was really excited that I had met him.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know he was in Narco.
Uh,
I didn't know he was in the Game of Thrones.
right.
But I know he made a superhero movie with Favreau.
I couldn't tell you which.
It's the one where it's a black costume with like a big tongue, and I can't think of the name of I can see it in my head, but I just can't. I don't know. I don't follow a lot of that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, don't know.
but I didn't know he was in Narco. But also, I think Poe Dameron was in Narco.
Well, I think Diego Luna was in Narco.
Oh, that's it. Diego Luna.
Diego Luna. Yeah, that's where he, got his initial, push of fame.
His accent is super heavy.
Well, he's Mexican.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from Mexico, Mexican.
His accent is really heavy.
I mean, he pretty much taught normal. I mean, his normal during Rogue One for the most part.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he tried to lighten it up or whatever, but yeah, he does have a strong Mexican accent because he's Mexican.
My friend Chris said, because I was talking to him, because we talk a lot about Star Wars. He's one of the guys that comes into the restaurant. And he was saying, well, why do we need that? Why do we need that show? And I said, the reason why is because I think people want to know how he got into this fight. Mm-hmm. He says, because in the movie, in Rogue One, he's saying, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Well, let's find out how that happened.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that we're going back. We want to know. And God only knows who will see
during that show.
Yeah,
I mean, because it'll also give a little bit more background on the strategic elements and the intelligence elements of the Rebel Alliance, because we've seen a lot of the rebels fighting, like in Star Wars Rebels, you see them doing smuggling and fighting the bad guys and all that. But what do you do when you're doing the underhand stuff in the shadow stuff? That's what Cassin Andor was. He was basically a spy and an intelligence agent, and so we're going to see some of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, because we go from the very last, we go from Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
And then we go to, there's comics and things.
Oh, yeah,
but as far as the movies go, we went from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope. And so what happened in the middle? So people want to know. So now this Rogue One is in the middle. So let's find out what happened right after Revenge of the Sith. And I mean, and that's pretty much what that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
How does he get K2? Because K2 belonged to the Empire. So how does he get it? This will show us.
Right.
And I really think it's
and we're going to probably see how they got K2 and how they reprogrammed him to be,
He did it. He reprogrammed, but how did he do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'd like to see that. I cannot wait because I want to know what Obi Wan's going to be doing. Is he going to be doing some missions almost like the book?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is he going to in some of the in I believe in the old canon, which is the EU now, there are some books, like kids books. I can't think of the name of it. The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And it tells you he actually leaves the planet and does stuff.
Right.
So I'm wondering if he's going to do that.
Well, they could mine some information from there, and of course they can mine the old Kenobi, the Kenobi novel by John Jackson Miller.
I hope so.
What I might posit is that he may not leave Tatooine because, his mission was to protect Luke and to watch over him. So I don't see him just casually leaving the planet unless something really bad happened.
Yeah.
What might happen, though we probably will see adventures there. We'll probably also see flashback adventures.
I hope so.
Where who knows, you might get to see Hayden come back as Anakin as well. Where they might do a Hayden, like an Obi Wan Anakin like mission or something, or he's off doing something. We might get to see a live action Satine where he's reminiscing about her, all kinds of crazy stuff.
God,
God forbid, we might even see Qui-Gon.
Yeah, we might. We really could see a whole lot because we've got about 17 years, 19 years, something like that between. So they've got a lot of room for storyline.
Right, and depending on how they age Obi Wan in terms of, of course, Ewan McGregor's
don't age him too fast.
I mean, as amazing as Ewan looks, it's been 20 years, almost 20 years since.
But they said that the perfect part, the perfect timing of this is that he's the age he should be when he's on Tatooine.
Right. Yeah. And they might give him a little extra because of the harsh climate, because Tatooine's dry and hot.
Don't make him look too non-hot.
Oh, listen to you. But yeah, and what I'm guessing is that he'll be somewhere in between Episode 3 Obi-Wan and Episode 4 Obi-Wan.
Yeah, because he gets kind of tattered. It seems like his Jedi costume actually gets longer.
Well, I'm sure he changes some pieces over time because clothes wear out over the years.
Right, but you don't want to appear too Jedi-ish.
Well, that's always been kind of a question. What is a Jedi supposed to look like in the kind of the vernacular? I think Jedi, in the sense, at least from the temple, unless they're wearing formal clothing for some official event or whatever, they're probably going to wear very basic and very monkish, ascetic type of robes.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're supposed to be. But
he's a crazy wizard, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, a couple of other things that happened at D23, and they're actually still running it right now. They showed it on, I got an email about it, is that you can buy right now for $140. You can get 3-year subscription.
Oh yeah,
which
for
makes
Disney
it only
Plus, yeah,
$4.44 a month.
Yeah,
which is a very good deal.
It's a great deal. Now, is that a bundle price with like Hulu and all that? Because they're
yes. They're putting from what I saw, it was Disney Plus with National Geographics, and I believe Hulu's in there too.
Yeah,
which is smart because if they can go in with another provider, that it gives them even more, and that gives them even more to go up against Netflix.
Well, of course, because they own Hulu too, so it's it's kind of a no-brainer.
I'm switching
to attach it all together because like right now I'm not doing Netflix because only Netflix is like $12.99 a month.
Yeah,
and so if you get Disney Plus, Hulu Plus, ESPN Plus, Nat Geo, and all that for $12.99, it's the same price for everything.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the pre-order and you're getting it out to 2020, it's an even better deal.
Yeah, because it's only, you get 3 years. I think it's 2021. 19, because you're going you would go halfway to 21 because you start in November, and then the next November, because you're going to get 3 years. But for $4.44 a month, I actually think that the first month it's going to crash because there's going to be so many people on it.
Well, it's possible, and I'm sure that what they'll try to do is do a lot of live server upgrades where they can just add bandwidth kind of instantly.
Yeah.
There are companies that can do that.
Yeah.
So, and Disney's been pretty good about they know a little bit about IT. I mean, I've seen some of their server farms just for our work when I worked for Disney. You know, when I worked for Disney Interactive, the server farm just to do what we did was gigantic. And we're just a tiny little piece of company.
Right,
you
and
know?
they actually have a Disney, they actually have a Disney like plus kind, not a Disney plus, but a Disney thing like Netflix or whatever, because I have it on my Roku, and it shows like a.
Well, you have Disney Now, and that's just Disney
Kids.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly the kids shows that they run, and that's where I watched Resistance and Rebels and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have that. But also, the other thing that they showed on Saturday when I wasn't there was the sneak preview of the new Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
now
yeah.
it didn't really show much, and so a lot of people are brightened back and forth and back and forth. I actually don't think Rey's going to go to the dark side. I think it's more of a dream, more of something that Palpatine has put in her head.
Possibly.
And you know, there's something. I actually don't think she goes to the dark side, but I think I saw Hera on the ship with oh my gosh, not Poe.
Finn?
With Finn.
Really?
It was really, really fast.
Oh no, that was Jana. That was the new character, Jana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that they were talking about. I remember seeing that shot.
Yeah, I thought it was Hera.
No.
I thought, is that really her? But
Well,
and you know, people went back and forth about it, and I think that they can't show too much.
Well, no, because then you'll reveal too much, and then...
Right, and there must be, and so that what that tells me is that there's going to be so much action in this one that even if they showed a little bit more than what they showed,
yeah,
it would reveal too much.
Oh yeah, did I mention? I don't think I talked to you about it. I talked to Steven about this. They had an interview with Don Williams, who's John Williams' brother.
Uh-huh.
And he's a percussionist. He actually plays in a lot of John Williams soundtracks. And he said that John wrote 135 minutes of music.
Oh, wow.
For episode 9. That's 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is almost over an hour more than both episode 7 and episode 8.
Time of the movie or time of the music?
Time of the music. Remember, music's not in like every single, top to the bottom of the film.
So we could be looking at close to a 3-hour movie.
Very possible. Very, very possible.
I actually think that, a lot of people are like, they're going back and forth. I think this one is going to be mind-blowing. In my personal opinion, I think JJ's going to he has to repair what is... I know you don't like that. He's got to...
I'm going to tell you right now, he's already said in interviews, episode 8 did not derail anything that they intended for the sequel trilogy. He said that explicitly in an interview. Nothing went wrong. Remember, Johnson wrote that script during episode 7, and it was done before episode 7 was done.
Yeah, but I think there are some things that need to be kind of answered. And with the Rey, her parents, why she went down in the water. I never got the finger snapping thing. I never got that.
That was just a thing. She was basically experimenting first because she saw the mirror thing, and then she saw a million of her, and then what that is saying is that each piece of her that you're seeing is a piece of her in time and space, and it's a physics thing, and then she's realizing that in the Force, you can see anywhere in time and space. That's what Force visions usually do. You're usually seeing in another time, in another location.
Yeah, I mean, and
the dark side was tempting her with the knowledge that she wants. Who's her parents? Where are her parents? What are they doing? Why is she alone? Blah 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 blah. What does she want more than anything? Is belonging, right? She wants to be part of something. She wants to be part of something more than just herself. So what do we get? She gets this thing where she's looking, and then when that mirror finally cleared, and all she saw was herself, and then so what was the dark side doing? It was either denying her,
or the light side was,
or it was actually telling her exactly what she wanted, but now she has to interpret it, because the dark side has a weird way of telling the truth.
Yeah, it does. We can ask Anakin about that.
Episode 2. Episode 2, what happened? Count Dooku blatantly told the truth to Obi Wan.
Yes, he did.
He said there's a dark side force user in charge of the Republic government, and Obi Wan didn't believe him because the Sith lie. Well, guess what? Dooku didn't lie. And what did Darth Vader do in Empire Strikes Back? He told Luke, "I'm your dad," when no one else would tell him.
Right.
Told him the truth. And now in episode 8,
this is why I have Jim on the show.
And then now we have episode 8, the second movie of the trilogy. See where we're going? Second movie of the trilogy.
Right.
So we're in episode 8. Kylo Ren is talking to her, right? He says, "You already know about your parents." And she's like, "Yeah. You just won't admit it because you buried it." And he's saying, "Your parents are just filthy junk traders." Because like when she saw, remember when they had a little conflict of minds in episode 7, right? When she's saying, he's trying to reach into her mind, that he's like, he's going, "I will, you want your family, blah blah blah," and then she says, "You're afraid you won't be as powerful as Darth Vader." Well, they were trading memories and knowledge and stuff.
And she does see her parents leave, because remember, she picks up the lightsaber and all these things,
those memories happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and then we go to 8, and now they're trading this information after they fight the red people, Praetorian guards, and that's what I meant to say. I said red people because that's the first thing that came to mind.
Jim had a gap.
I can't even remember my own name half the time. So they fight. They finish the fight, and they're sitting there. She's like, "Okay, quick, order the things to stop so we can save the rebellion and all that." And he's all, forget all that. And then they start talking, and he's like, "Okay, remember, you know who your parents are. They're nobody. But I don't think you're nobody. Not to me." And
but he could have been trying to fool her at that point, because you said the Sith have a way of
using the truth to deceive. Now, I don't think he lied, but he might have been twisting the truth to his end. So it's also been said in interviews that both Daisy Ridley and JJ, I believe, have said in interviews, Rey's heritage is not, we're not finished with it yet, and we're going to find out definitively everything in episode 9. There's going to be plenty of time to learn all the answers.
And I think that's really what's going to, a lot of people, I think, are going to be satisfied with this one.
Oh, definitely.
And
definitely.
it's going to answer a lot of questions. But it also, if she decides not to come back, you now have characters. You now have people who can take this story to the next phase.
Right, of course.
You can. I would love to see. Now, from what I understand, some of the guys who have done Game of Thrones, they're going to do Old Republic.
Right, Benioff and Weiss.
I would love to see Old Republic. I mean, I would love to see it. Even if it's new characters, it's still something from Old Republic before Episode 1.
Well, it's going to, and then we're talking Old Republic. We're talking we're talking before Yoda. We're talking before everybody.
Right.
So it's going to be a whole new cast of characters. Maybe ones we know. There was a rumor of a script that was actually an adaptation of the Knights of the Old Republic video game. Which means we could get Revan and company.
Oh, I hope so.
We could that. Which that includes Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Bastila, and all these other people that were important during those times. If it's true, that could be the Benioff and Weiss treatment. I don't know, because they haven't been connected to each other.
Right.
All they know is that a writer was hired to do this, and she was separate from the Benioff and Weiss stuff. We don't know if that's actually for them or what.
But there's been whispers, just like Obi Wan, for the last 4 years.
Right now, my understanding of the agreement right now with Benioff and Weiss is that they're basically executive producing the entire trilogy. they are writing the first movie of the trilogy, and then they're probably going to bring in writers for the other two, to other guys to do that,
Right.
and then basically kind of oversee production of the films. Same thing with Rian Johnson's trilogy. They're going to kind of do the same thing. Ryan may or not direct. I don't know. But he is executive producing the trilogy, and he's writing the treatments for the trilogy. I don't know if he's actually going to write scripts or not. He might have another writer. I don't know.
But people talk about, oh, there's just too much. It's too much saturation. But I don't really think that there can be. I honestly don't think that. I think that people want to see this. They want more, even though other people are saying, well, there's too many I think people actually want to see this. I want to see, like I said, the Cassian story. I am looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the Obi Wan show.
And we got to remember, all this isn't happening instantly.
Right.
Okay. Only the Mandalorian is going to be viewing in November. Okay. Obi Wan's shooting in January, which means it won't be done till next year.
Right, and then also,
Cassian is in pre-production,
so they're almost there. They could be next summer.
I would probably say even later, because they haven't got any. They got maybe 2 scripts, and they're in pre-production. They don't have any other cast. Well, neither does Obi Wan, but they're shooting. See, Obi Wan is shooting before Cassian, even though it was announced after Cassian. So, they're playing with schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're going to be getting 2020, 2021. So they're not all going to hit boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, we could see the next 10 years of,
and the next movie, I believe, is 2022. So,
but we don't even know what that is.
It's going to be the first Benioff and Weiss picture.
It will be the Old Republic if they decide, if that's
what it is. It's whatever the Benioff and Weiss picture is. It's definitely that one.
That means that there's a possibility that they're working on it right now.
Right. Oh, they're definitely in pre-production now. And every 2 years after that, 2024, 2026, and so on. Reason for that is because now they own Fox. Disney owns Fox. They are having to kind of share space with Fox releases. And what is also being developed by Fox right now is the new Avatar pictures.
Oh, yeah,
James
I've heard
Cameron.
that.
And what they're probably going to do, 2022 Star Wars, 2023 next Avatar picture, 2024 Star Wars, 2025 another Avatar picture.
Yeah,
because they're doing like 5.
Yeah, I wasn't into Avatar. Yeah, it was all right.
Cameron is, he's trying to create a phenomenon, and you can't really do it that way. Star Wars was a lot of serendipity. It was a lot of the right things happening at the right time, in the right place, in the right conditions, we're talking economic climate, political climate, everything contributed to Star Wars succeeding in 1977. If that movie were made today, it may not have succeeded. It might have been crap. Who knows?
Well, you know what? I think you're right, because, back then it was like this Western, and that's what was really hot back in the day, was like the Westerns and the Dirty Harrys and all that.
Well, the difference between Star Wars and a lot of the movies of the early 70s, particularly, a lot of the early 70s movies were anti-hero type movies. Dirty Harry, you already mentioned. Death Wish with Charles Bronson.
I remember that.
Gone in 60 Seconds. A lot of where the heroes were bad people doing good things, and it was on the edge of it was on the tail end of the Vietnam War. The country was in a kind of a dark state in terms of of moral and ethical woes. You had the Nixon resignation, Gerald Ford coming into a bad economy and dealing with the country, and just a bunch of bad things happening at the same time.
But also you had a book that was different and refreshing, and another look at space in another way.
Oh, well,
it was more. It was very. It was kind of swashbuckling. It was kind of, it had some romance. It was a fun movie for the time. And I mean, we're coming off of Star Trek being, the show, the TV show that, a lot of people enjoyed. They really, they were going into syndication, and we're seeing like almost the birth of sci-fi at that point, from the 60s, from the mid 60s to Star Wars
in terms of modern like television and movie
right
definitely.
Because Planet of the Apes was coming out and all this other stuff, so you did see it was the right time.
Yeah, for it. Yeah.
for it, but
And
but he made it in a way that it was like something that everybody could watch for the last 40 years.
mhm.
It was something that, or 50 years.
Well, it's very timeless, and
Yeah.
it's aged well. Even though certain things like hairstyles and stuff may be a little, a little
Eh,
funky,
I don't know. Everyone's doing it now.
Well, the thing is,
Everything comes back around.
everything comes back around, so it's no big deal. But yeah, it's a very
Even the music. I say even the music
well, that
is.
was the thing. Bringing back big orchestrated classical music soundtracks was also kind of a resurgence. Well, John Williams is the hero of that.
Oh yes,
too,
he is.
because he did Jaws in '75 too. So and then he decided, and then Lucas decided to do a classical soundtrack, because a lot of sci-fi movies were doing modern music or electronica.
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
kind of
you're
stuff.
right.
And so yeah, to do a classical soundtrack was very risky at the time.
But
And
it worked perfect.
everything worked perfectly.
It
Clearly
was.
defined good guys and bad guys. They were black and white.
He timed it right.
Yeah.
It's like certain bands, they just they maybe just are just getting started, and they're
They just,
in the right place at the right time.
oh yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of stuff that's like that.
Mhm.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our show this week. I hope everybody enjoyed listening. Please follow us on Facebook at Radio Geonosis 2.0. Please follow us on Instagram at Radio Geonosis. Also, we have our YouTube page. We're trying to get more subscribers, so please like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And
We are on Twitter at Geonosis, and we're having a great time over there. So come on, hang out with me.
yes,
And,
please do. Please do.
And that's it.
That's going to do it for our show this week. Next week, I would like to go back into the planets.
Okay.
We'll delve into some planets, because Jim, I've done just about everything. We've done food, we've done planets, we've done costumes, we've done weapons and all this other stuff. But I would like to delve into planets again, because now we have new ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So next week we'll be talking about planets. We'll pick a couple of our favorites.
Okay.
So from us here at Radio Geonosis, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
May the force of others be with you.